Hi, so this is a video following up on simultaneous equations and solving them for x and y. So in the last video we looked at solving a general simultaneous equation where the signs were on the variable you were eliminating were either the same or different. So in this one we will use our best judgment, and like I always say in maths, we want to turn this into something we know how to do, which is exactly what we're going to do. So this one here, this doesn't have anything that lines up. So in the x's, we've got 3 and minus 2, which don't match up. And we've got 4 and 2, which don't match up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to perform some kind of shift on one of these so that I can line them up. So immediately I notice that I can times this 2 by 2 and make it 4. So they'll line them up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redraw my first equation, because I like to keep things organized. So 3x plus 4y equals 14, and I'm not going to change that. But this next equation, I'm going to times everything in it by 2, and I'll show you what this does in a sec. So minus 2x is going to become minus 4x, minus 2y is going to become minus 4y, and minus 8 is going to become minus 16. So these are still the same equations, but 2 is slightly different, but still the same equation, still has the same answers, because equations are balanced, and we've done the same to both sides. So what this has done is turn it into something we know how to do, because now these 4's are lined up on the y, and we're now in a position to cancel them out using elimination. So we have to look at this. The variable we're eliminating is the y's, and they have different signs, so we are going to add the two of them to eliminate them. And again, I showed what happens in the last video when you do the wrong thing, so you'll know you've gone wrong when you don't eliminate a variable. So let's do 1 plus 2. So 3 plus minus 4, that's going to be minus x. So 4 plus minus 4 is nothing. And then I have 14 plus minus 16, so 14 minus 16, which is minus 2. So if minus x equals minus 2, then x equals 2. And you can do this formally if you'd like by dividing by minus 1. So dividing by minus 1 will get you x, and dividing by minus 1 over here will get you 2. So now we have our 2, the x is 2, and this is very much like what we did last time. So now we know the x is 2, we just put it into one of these. And again, it's about picking the one which will make your life easier, and in this case it is definitely 1. So let's rewrite 1 out because it's good practice, and then let's substitute our values in. So we know x is 2. So 3 times 2 plus 4y equals 14. So 6 plus 4y equals 14. Therefore, I'm going to minus 6 on both sides, like so. And now I get that 4y is equal to 14 minus 6 equaling 8. And I divide both sides by 4, and I get that y equals 2, as required. So I've gotten that x equals 2. And I've got that y equals 2. So I've solved this simultaneous equation pretty much. So the point that they would intersect would be at the point 2, 2. So I'm going to solve this one down here now, where they have the same sign. And again, you have a bit of a choice here about which one you'd want to line up. So I'm going to go for the easier one generally, but there is nothing wrong if you see a different way of doing it. So for example, in this case, we could double equation 2 and line this, so this would be 6x and this would be 6x, and that would be absolutely fine. Incidentally, we could also times equation 1 by 3 and make this minus 3 and minus 3. In the interest of covering all bases, I am going to times the top one by minus 3, or by 3 rather, but please know that the easiest method here is probably timesing equation 2 by 2, making this 6x and cancelling it. But given that I haven't shown you a minus and a minus one yet, I think this would be good practice. So let's make this equation line up first of all. So I've chosen I'm going to eliminate the y's. So this 6x equation at the top, so this equation 1, I've decided I'm going to triple it to make these y's line up. So I'm going to make this 18x minus 3y equals 3, and equation 2 is exactly the same still. Equation 1, equation 2. Right, so let's go through solving this and cancelling out. So the signs on what we are going to eliminate are the same. So a lot of people are going to be thrown here, but the fact that these are minus. So again, the rule is if the sign is the same on what you're eliminating, If the signs are the same, then you minus, and if they are different, you plus. There is no calculation required whatsoever if you understand this, but it's always good to understand it, and it's always good practice. So in this instance, I am going to subtract them properly. So the signs are the same, so we're going to subtract. And looking at this, I'm going to say this is bigger than this, so I'm going to say equation 1 minus equation 2 is probably the smarter thing to do here. So let's do that. So 18 minus 3x, that's going to be 15x. And then minus 3y, so I'll do this little calculation up here actually. So minus 3y minus 3y, so minus 3y, which is the same as minus 3y plus 3y, which equals 0, which is exactly what we want. So this cancels out. So 3 minus 12, and again I'll do this here as well because I know we do struggle with our double negatives a bit. So this is the same as 3 plus 12, because minus minus, and this is equal to 15. So using this, 15x equals 15. And now dividing both sides by 15, we get that x equals 1. And we're in the exact same position we were before. We're ready to solve this. So let's pick an equation. I'm going to pick this top one, because it's the best one to do, less negatives. So let's write this equation out again. So 6x minus y equals 1. So x equaling 1, so 6 times 1 minus y equals 1. So 6 minus y equals 1. So a good way to look at this is you can just minus 6 from both sides, and then you'll get minus y equals minus 5, so therefore y is 5. But another way I like to look at these ones is 6 minus something is 1, so therefore y must be 5. And just like that, we have our solution. So x equals 1, y equals 5. And just for completeness, the point that these two lines would intersect will be at the point 1, 5. Okay.